everyone, it's Pastor Amy. I can't believe it, but here we are at the end of another year together. Just look around you. There are signs all over this building and outside of it of the many ways in which God's Spirit is working in and among us.
Where have I seen God at work? Oh my gosh, do we have enough time?
One place I've seen God at work here this year is in the outpouring of support for the Poor People's Campaign, which has as its central message the shame that people are poor in a nation as rich as ours.
In worship, I've seen it as far as intercultural ministry. I've seen more languages being read. Also, our education about not just how we observe God here, but how others observe.
I've seen God at work in a lot of places. I've seen God at work in the kids that I've worked with, both in Freedom School and teaching these angelic preschoolers in Sunday school, and also through the joy of singing with people in inspirational choir.
I see God at work in the summer with the children at Freedom School. And I also see God in the older saints that we have here. You can have tons of degrees, but nothing replaces life experience.
Another exciting development in our life together is the purchase of McGifford Hall. For the first time in Riverside's history, we are now stewards of 2 full city blocks in Manhattan. That is huge. In the year ahead, we're going to be talking with each other about how God is calling us to use and to steward and to care for this amazing little corner of the world.
One thing the Worship Commission did this year that I'm most proud of, I don't know if it's a particular event per se, but I am proud of how the Worship Commission shows up. How we meet regularly, how we're very orderly and efficient, and that everyone brings their whole selves when we meet.
One thing I'm especially proud of this year is that this year we have welcomed 54 new members and 33 of them have been young adults. And as Pastor Amy mentioned in May, that's a significant increase and is bucking national trends.
I think the Commission has stepped up in its volunteerism, that they've played a role in one aspect of the education programming or another.
This year we've really been we've started to work on honing our skills as allies, and that starts with asking people, what do you need from us? And then listening to the answer and responding to the answer. So that answer might be march with us. It might be provide housing for us. It might be share a meal with us, or advocate with us. And we intend to continue to build that kind of responsiveness into our ministries as we continue into the coming year.
Now is the time we set priorities for the year ahead. An important part of setting priorities is the church budget. As you know, we've been in the budgeting process for several months now, and this has been the smoothest and most transparent budgeting process since I've arrived at Riverside. It sets a model for transparency and accessibility that we will follow into the future. We began our process by talking about the things that are most important in our community, our core values. We began this process last year with the Ask Finance campaign. We really want to be a community that talks about finances and giving regularly because it's a spiritual practice. It's very important for us to marry our financial impact with our ministry impact. If we talk about money and only talk about dollars and cents, we're missing a huge part of the conversation. That's why all of our committees and commissions began the budgeting process this year with a vision and values exercise. Here's what you had to say.
Our hope is to just continue the tradition of radical welcome and building beloved community, and just continue to welcome more new members into this church, as well as engage existing members and create more events just for them.
I think we want to continue increasing attendance in family worship, continuing making this a friendly environment for families and children, continue the growth of the young adults, and continue to expand the programming available for people of all ages.
Our vision as a commission for Riverside for the coming year would be to offer more and more opportunities for congregational involvement in actions that really make a positive difference in the lives of people who are affected by injustice. We'll continue to strengthen anti-racism understanding and work in the congregation. We expect a phase 2 of the Poor People's Campaign.
We're looking at gospel hospitality. And what does that mean? Matthew 25 says, I was hungry and you fed me. I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. I was naked and you clothed me. At the end of that phrase, Jesus said, and what you've done to the least of these, you've done to me. Gospel hospitality being very Christ-centered and recognizing that how can we create a worship space that is inclusive of everyone?
After this critically important work, your staff and lay leaders took those visions and values and translated them into a working budget by the beginning of September. In October and November, we held 5 budget forums to engage the whole community in conversation about the budget. At the end of the day, over 100 congregation members and staff members together had the opportunity to craft the budget. This is unbelievable, and it should be celebrated. The numbers you see in the budget tell a story, and here's the story they tell. This is an institution that is moving ever closer to thriving institutional sustainability. We have a rentals and theater department that is opening the doors to the community. The budget tells a story of record stewardship numbers, showing that we together are taking the challenge of generosity seriously. This budget tells the story of a growing prophetic witness, an important platform that Riverside occupies in the national and international conversation about justice. And it shows a deep investment in building beloved community, the kind of community that shows the world how to love God and love each other. Riverside Church, I'm so proud to be your pastor. Just look at what we've done together in this past year. I'm so excited about what the future holds. We're so beloved community.